So I got a craving today, and I've actually had this craving for about 2 days now, and I usually crave this 2-3 times a week. You know the logo. All right, so let's turn this into this Taco Bell, baby. That's right. And for the pull-up today, we're gonna be drinking this. Let me see if I can pronounce this right. San Pellegrino. So it's an Italian soda. It's very lightly sugared, which is good. I prefer sweet drinks, but it's healthy and I'm down with that too. So we're gonna be sipping on that. We got a nice tall glass of ice right here. So because you showed up, we got to do the pull-up. That just came naturally. I don't know. I got a comment about that. I think other people say it too. I think my boy Hoodie says it. It's just something catchy. I just like saying it. But anyway, cheers, y'all. You know. It's got a nice little color on it. The flavor of this is clementine and peach. If you can see it right there. It's a really good drink. You guys should try it out. All right, y'all. Get into it. We just grab it today. Damn, that's hella refreshing. All right. So what we got here today is a Fry Supreme. All right, and then we have a Doritos Locos Taco Supreme right here. And these 3 new spicy tacos on the Taco Bell menu out here in Canada. Well, Ontario at least. And I don't know which one is which because here in Canada, they don't really... Actually, yeah, they marked on it. So there's a J, so this one's jalapeno. One is ranch, this one's ranch, and then this one's chipotle. So jalapeno, chipotle, and ranch. The 3 new spicy tacos. And they do have their own nice little taste. So I like it. I can appreciate it. I can get down with it. And of course... oh, it came in those nice little box right here too. And then I got some of these twists, which I'll probably just munch on like 2 or 3 of them. I'm not a big fan of those, but it came with the combo. I got my hot and my fire sauce. I'm gonna start lacing up. I'm gonna go straight in for the hard taco first because it's quicker to get soggy, obviously, right? So let's take it out of the little package right here. And you guys know me. I love a lot of sauce on my food in general, but on my Taco Bell, yo. BK, you better go get you some of this Taco Bell, bro. So I think 3 should do it right there. Anyway. Taco Bell video from your boy Snoopy Eats 408. You never go wrong with some fresh, delicious Taco Bell, man. All right. So I've tried the ranch before. I didn't film it. So because I tried that, I'll save that one for last to kind of put it in the perfect order right here. Let's try this jalapeno spicy taco, soft taco from Taco Bell. Let's see how this tastes. Soft tacos are so beautiful, man. They're easy to eat. They're easy on the teeth. You know, not that I have an issue, but I do have a little problem with my gum right here. Let me go get that checked, actually. So we're gonna lace this one up. Now, when they say jalapeno, it's the sauce, right? It's not like they got pieces of jalapeno in there, which would be pretty nice. That would be pretty good. And I guess you can, on your own, put your own jalapenos on there, but I'm just going to review it for what it is. All right, so this is the jalapeno spicy soft taco from Taco Bell right here. It looks pretty good. Sauce looks pretty good. Of course, I added my own sauce to it, you know. Okay, that sauce, yeah, it's not explosive in the fact where it don't really kick you hard. It's got a nice little buzz of heat to it. But even though I'm not a huge, massive spice head, I can handle some heat. So it's not hot for me, plus I added my own sauce to it. But for a regular person who don't really consume heat, it'll be spicy for you. Just a little heads up. But spice is good for you though, and it just changes the dynamic of the food. All right, let's lace up some sauce on this fried supreme. I'm just gonna eat a bit of it. I'm gonna give most of this to my son. I didn't really want the fried supreme to start the show of these soft tacos, and then I wanted a little crunch factor right there. Plus, I'm hungry, so I toss in a little extra, you know. Ooh, careful on the shirt, Snoop. Careful on the shirt, dog. Oh, that sauce wrong. So I thought it enhanced the view a little bit by perking it up like this. Let's get a try this. Oh, the sour cream, the tomato with the cheese on there, the hot fries, and the sauce. It was really good, but I do prefer the nacho supreme over fried supreme. Okay, so now we're down to the last two. Like I said, I give the other supreme to my son. So this one is the chipotle I'm interested in trying this one because, I mean, Chipotle is cool. I'm not a huge fan of Chipotle, but we'll see how this one tastes. I was just in a soft taco mood, and I said, you know what? Let me come review these 3 flavors for you guys real quick and get my Taco Bell fix in. Now with the Burrito Supreme, I bite the sauce, squeeze, bite, squeeze, bite, squeeze, bite. And I go through 4 or 5 packs like that. I love it like that. All right, this one is the Chipotle. Not really much to see on it right here. Just give me a little, see if you can see something right there. I don't really see the sauce really, but we'll taste it and see how it goes. Right away, you can taste the Chipotle. Right away, you don't see it, but you taste it. It's smoky, spicy. It's got that original Chipotle, that chili taste coming through. It's strong. Well, you still get the soft taco flavor, but you could taste that Chipotle 100%. The hot sauce or the fire sauce I put on there does not overpower it. If you're a Chipotle fan, it's good. I like it. But if you're a Chipotle fan, like a fanatic, this soft taco is definitely for you. I recommend it. It's good. It was a nice, beautiful, long weekend. Food was great. Company was great. Got to relax, sleep in, get that good rest, get some gaming on, get a little bit of editing in. And I got to watch a couple, you know, little bits and pieces of my favorite stuff. Of course, my First Amendment audits and stuff like that. And for those of you that don't know, I'm a huge dog lover. I love animals, period. I'm a bird guy. I raised birds all my life. And I've always loved dogs. But because of allergies in the family growing up, and I never bought and owned my own dog. We've had, my brother actually had a pit bull, which is like a family dog, and then he didn't train it properly. We didn't know about dog whispering at that time, right? So he was a little terror, man. A black pit bull, white feet, white on his chest, a little bit of white on his head. I think his name was Max, and that dude would just bite and shake your toes, and that shit was painful. So other than that little pit bull and dogs that my friends would have, I never owned my own dog. But when I was younger, I'm thinking like 11, 12, 13, 14, my Auntie Sharon and my Uncle Greg lived on the east side, San Jose, and they had 4 King German Shepherds, or King Shepherds, whatever you want to call it. Alan, Brooke, Sheena, what was that one? Or was it the 3? No, it was a 3. And they had 3 cats, Samantha, David, and Cindy. Sheena, one day, and I wasn't there for this. But basically the story was my auntie and my uncle paid me really, really good money to dog sit. To go over there and babysit the dogs. I'd stay the weekend over there. My little cousins would be there, but I was the oldest, so I was monitoring, watching over my little baby cousins. Shout out to my cousin Nicholas, Gregory, and Alexandra. And they were heavy gamers since back then. So they'd be playing their games or whatever. monitor and make sure they're good. They want something to drink, hook them up or whatever. My auntie had their food and stuff ready to go, microwave it, whatever. They were both busy and working. So my uncle actually had me around the dogs a lot. So he would introduce the dogs to me. I'd go with him for dog walks. He'd hand over the leash to me. Now, mind you, I'm a skinny youngster, right? So these dogs are massive, twice my size, 5 times more powerful than me, pulling me, right? Right. He showed me how to do certain commands and how to, you know, walk a dog properly, how to do little corrections here and there, that what he was doing, right? And so I would dog sit, and they paid me really good money. And that was the most intimate times I've ever had with any type of dogs. And they were beautiful dogs, man. Now, Brooke was a little skittish and a little paranoid. So she was skinnier too. She was a big dog, but she wasn't built like how Alan is. And the male dogs are bigger anyway. But with that being said, she was still a pretty decent sized dog, right? Sorry about that little noise right there. But she was a loving, spirited dog, and so she would be scared. She'd kind of flinch away a little bit, but she'd flinch away. She knew you weren't gonna hurt her, but she'd flinch away and then come and lick the hell out of you. Like she would just lick you from head to toe, just like she wouldn't stop licking. You go to rub her head, she's licking your hand all over the place. She was like that, but even though she was kind of skittish and scared, I wouldn't say kind of a lot, like paranoid. And then she was equally loving too. So you had that mix, and then you had Mr. Allen. So mind you, I didn't name these dogs. I would have named him like Beast or something because he was massive. And excuse me, let me just dress this real quick. So this one, as you can see, is the ranch sauced soft taco, the new one. So I'm gonna dress this and then continue to eat for you guys, and then tell you the story time. So yeah. So Alan, he's the beast, right? He's the big boy. And I didn't know until a little bit later that my uncle actually had him in like professional dog school, like training. So he was a guard dog, and I didn't even know that, right? So, and you know, my auntie and uncle got good money. They had a nice, big, huge house at that time over there off Tully Road. You know, they had nice stuff. So they needed, you know, protection, whether they were there or not. So anyway, Alan, he's a big boy, big head. He looked like a brown wolf. He's just a big, massive, beautiful German Shepherd, King Shepherd. And so he was loving, and he was very big and strong, and he would look you in the eyes. And like I remember, you know, going out there sometimes just to go out to grab something, or go out there to check on them, make sure they're okay, make sure they have enough water or whatever. I'll get to feeding time in a second. But those small little encounters, 2-3 times a day, you know, or 4 times a day, go out there, play with them 5, 10, 15 minutes. And I got so addicted to them that I just fell in love with both of them, right? Especially Alan. And he would look you in your eyes, and you would open the door and he'd look and you'd be like, hey, Alan, come here. And he's excited, right? But he's big, so he's and you can hear his claws and his breath, and he's coming toward you. I'm telling you, he's a massive shepherd, right? And he'll come up and he'll just nose right into you, right? He'll just nose and smell you, lick you. And he's too big to really jump, even though he could jump, but he was really big, and he was older at this time, right? So he's not a jumper. He's in his old age. He's a big dog. You know, he's about his business, but he's very loving. He's a family dog. But when he came in to nudge you, like your whole body shifted. Like you open the door like this, even if you just want to pet him and say hi, you don't want him in the house, he'll nose his way right in through the house, right? And he's so loving that you don't want to tell him to get out. But my uncle used to tell him to, no, take your knee, push him back, let him know he can't cross this boundary right here. You can't come past here. This is where the humans are at. This is where the dogs are at until somebody says, okay, you can come inside. Other than that, he stays right there. You stay right here. You're in control, right? Alpha male at that time. So he taught me that with the energy. So then I'd be like, nope. Or whatever, you know, like push him back a little bit, and he would sit and stay. But he wanted to come inside, and I wanted him to come inside too. But I had to learn that no, you can't give in just because they are handsome dogs and they're cute and they're loving, and you really want to snuggle with them. You gotta set boundaries. So we set the boundaries, and that was pretty dope. So that was my first introduction to, like, you know, handling dogs like professionally and really like hands-on. So like I said, I had this one before. And it's good. To me, they put a little bit too much ranch in it. But if you're a ranch fan, like my boy Black Hoodie, then you'll love this. I prefer the regular soft tacos. But before I get back to the dog time story, the story time with the dogs. In California, growing up in the 90s, where we lived on the south side of San Jose, on the Avenidas, you walk in and there'd be a Taco Bell right here on the corner. So they had introduced something called wild sauce. Taco Bell, if you get a chance to watch this video, please bring back the wild sauce. That was a delicious, beautiful sauce, man. That sauce and a couple of these packets of hot sauce was all I needed. And it was a beautiful sauce, man. Had that on the everything I got from Taco Bell, I had wild sauce on it when it was out. Like, they'd bring it out and take it away. You know how they do, they promote it, bring it out, and then take it away again. And I don't know whatever happened to it. I think on Amazon they had it in bottles you could order, but I haven't seen it on this end. So but anyway, before we wrap this up, let's finish off the story time. So yeah, so feeding time. So I used to love watching my uncle do this. So he'd be like, nephew, come check this out. Pull up a chair so I could get to see, because they had high countertops for some reason. Plus I was younger too, so everything was just bigger for me. So he would get dry dog food. I mean, he had these dogs are big, so he had big ass bags of dog food. Like, and then in one side, double covered like this, he'd open up dog food, like wet dog foods. And I've seen this with different families with the house dogs, especially back in the Caribbean. Whatever scraps you couldn't finish off your plate, we didn't throw it in the garbage and waste it. We don't believe in wasting food. You take it, you scrape it into the dog's food, and they eat it, bones and all, right? But my uncle every once in a while would give them raw food, but he would mix it into their food too. So like, let's say he had, what he would do was, when he would have his food or breakfast or whatever, especially like bacon, he collected bacon grease in a jar. So he would warm up the bacon grease, pour it all over the dry food, and then open up a can of, like, I don't know, Alpo or whatever, right? The big beef chunks with that gravy, right? And pour that in there, and then put like rice and stuff like that. And then he would take his hand and mash it. And then he used to tell me to take my hand and mix it up. So it got to a point as I got older and started taking care of the dogs, like in my first year, second year, whatever, I knew what to do. They had a little automatic can opener, open up the dog food, pour it inside, put a little bit of the grease. If there was rice or leftover food, I would, but mostly it was just those three ingredients. Mix it up really good with my hands. And then this was the very most important part right here. Feeding time. We have 2 trays, right? So when I was doing it by myself, I would feed one at a time, but he was there and showed me a few times. I went out with him several times with him to show, so he could show me how to properly feed his dogs, right? So the main thing with dogs is food aggression. You don't bite the hand that feeds you, right? So you want to make sure that you can feed your dogs without any issue. And even if your dogs are halfway through their food, you should be able to go up to any one of your dogs at any point in time and reach your hand in there while they're yamming their food off, starving there, right? You should be able to put your hand in there, mimicking their mouth, and pick up food and drop it. Pick it up and drop it. Pick it up and drop it. And even pick some up and feed them with it, right? Feed them with it. Grab it, feed them. Let them smell your hand, the food. They know that you're in control and you can do anything you want. You could even say, hey, stop. And then they back off. And then you wait a while. Okay, go ahead, eat again. And then they go to eat. Hey, stop. Take the bowl away. Put it there. They don't touch it. You should be able to walk away, turn your back, and they're looking at you and keeping eye contact the whole time. They come back, they're looking at the food, they're licking the lips, they're hungry. You look at them, eat, then they eat. That's the control you want to have, and that's the control my uncle had on his dogs, and that's the control he taught me that I eventually had over these dogs even when he wasn't there. So he taught that to my aunt. The kids knew how to kind of do it too, but they were still a little small, so that's why it was mainly up to me. So he taught my aunt. He, of course, the alpha. I'm the alpha, taking care of these big shepherds. And even though dogs can be beautiful and loving, whatever, when it comes to food and toys, you gotta be extra on the discipline and the teaching with that, and nip it in the bud very early, because that could become an issue, right? So that was my story on the dogs in my life. But the reason why I brought up the dogs is because I shout out to Andre for BGK Kennels. One of my favorites. He breeds like the largest double XL American bullies, which comes from the pit bull family, but they're their own breed. And I'm still studying and researching more on it. And then I also watch, I think it's DDK. Yeah, Dog Dynasty Kennels. A slim, light-skinned brother that's married with 2 kids. He's got beautiful dogs too. And he also has shows. I think he's up to like season 4 or 3 or 4 or something like that. Or maybe even season 5, who knows. But he's new to me. But Andre did an interview with him, so it got me attracted to his lifestyle story, right? So it's very interesting, you know, him being homeless in 2019, family not believing in what he wanted to do. They wanted to go to school, get a job or whatever. But that's normal stuff that everybody does. But he had this talent, and he used to be scared of dogs, right? Petrified of dogs for whatever reason. And then ended up breeding dogs, and now he's happy, millionaire, loves his dogs, breeds beautiful dogs. So I'm heavy into that. It's actually, that's him right here. This is his show that's in the background playing. I took the volume off, but I've been just binge watching that. So if you're a dog lover and you want some good shows to watch and you don't know about this, that's Dog Dynasty season 2 right here. And then there's Andre or Dre from Big Gemini Kennels, or aka BGK Kennels, right? So that's what I'm on right there. So that was my little story time about my experience with dogs, being an animal lover and loving pets, and not being able to have my own dogs. At least those were my dogs at the time, because we're family and they're family dogs, right? So taking care of them basically became my responsibility, and I became their pack leader too as well. So which made me part of their pack, which made us family, right? So that's how it goes. For the longest time, German Shepherds was like my first favorite dog. Then Doberman Pinschers for the longest time. Then I fell in love with Rottweilers. Pit Bulls at that time, we're talking 90s, right? Had a really bad reputation. So I think I kind of strayed away. I loved them and admired them from afar, but I didn't want to own one. And if you look like you didn't have control of your dog, I wouldn't even go near you. Just to lower and or just straight up eliminate that risk right there. But yeah, Shepherds, Dobies, and then eventually Rottweilers were my favorite dogs. I started to fall in love with Pit Bulls. My homeboy Junebug, because he was stocky like little Mike Tyson, little Puerto Rican Mike Tyson. He looked like a Pit Bull. And he loved Pit Bulls, and Pit Bulls loved him. So any dog that you had, they loved him. And after seeing the breed, how like G'd up they looked and so stocky, and they're just like, they just stand there and they're just like yoked up in the chest and the beautiful face and stuff like that, you know, and awesome protect dogs, and they can fight, and man, Pit Bulls are fearless, you feel me? So I liked it to that, and that was really attractive to me. So coming to find out that this newer breed here, these double XL bullies, they're big, beautiful dogs, and they're family dogs, right? You got to train them to be guard dogs and stuff like that, because they're naturally bred for, you know, they're family dogs, right? So, but their size is just amazing. He has a dog that made him go viral and blew him up called the Hulk, and he's the biggest bully I've ever seen. Like big, like his head is massive. He's so big, and his offspring. And his offspring are beautiful too, so I'm learning about that. But I just started skimming through videos, and I was in season 3. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna buy all of these on Blu-ray, but before I do that, let me just go whatever I can get now for free and just go and watch it on YouTube and see from season 1, which I can't find season 1. That's why I'm skimming through season 2 right now. But I want to start from season 1 to get his life story and see. And one thing to say from this story time, from my story time to those two brothers' story times, that you might have a talent that you're good at, that you know you're good at, that you're passionate about and that you love, and that you're doing, and you know deep down inside it's going somewhere. No matter how long it takes, that's what you want to do. A lot of people won't believe in you, and most of the times it's going to be family. You got to learn how to separate that. You got to learn how to separate that negativity and focus on you and the positivity. So whether it's raising dogs or racing cars or jumping out of airplanes or an artist or a YouTuber or whatever it is, that's your dream. You like it. You're good at what you do. Stick with it. Do it. Don't use the hate and the negativity as fuel to drive you to do what you want to do and make you better. That's my positive note for today. And with that being said, last bite gang right here. Wash it down. Cheers. And that's it for this video, folks. Hopefully you get to see me again next week. This video should be dropping on a Wednesday, so if it does, happy hump day. Looking forward to another beautiful weekend, man. You guys stay positive. The weather's beautiful. Stay focused. Stay positive. Stay out of stupid silliness. Avoid negativity at all costs. It's not worth it. Don't try to be cool. If you're naturally cool, stay that way. You know what I'm saying? It's better to be a good guy than a bad guy. Same thing for the ladies. Keep it positive. It's your boy Snoopy-Eats for all weight. I hope you enjoyed this mukbang, Taco Bell mukbang, right here with the dog story time. And if you like story times like this, go ahead, drop me a comment, man. Let me know like what you want to know. You know what I'm saying? About me growing up, like this was the dog one. I could break down my birds next or whatever. But with that being said, man, salute. Love you guys. Stay blessed. Keep it crispy. You know.